Guys, I wanted to make this video today. It's a really informal video about how you guys can shoot better video on your Canon G7X. I did a review of it. I think it's one of the best travel cameras and a bunch of you guys responded positively to it. So today we're gonna be taking you through 10 tips on shooting better video on this camera. All right, tip number 1.
You are my favorite place to go. You're at the end of my favorite road. Above the rest, you're the best I know.
So nice out this morning. To clear up the first question, I am not using any other piece of equipment right now other than the Canon G7X Mark II to film this video. The overlay you're seeing I've shot on another camera obviously, so I can show you the settings and stuff. But for those of you guys that are more adventure vloggers, one really great tip is to set up image stabilization onto the highest settings. So to do this, you just got to hit menu, then go onto the 4th page of your camera settings. There you go, that's number 4. And if we scroll down, we have IS settings. So let's hit IS, dynamic image stabilization. So right now we've set it to standard. We can have it on low or we can have it on high, maximum camera shake correction during movie shooting. So let's set it to high and let's play around with that. So to give you a comparison, I've just switched the image stabilization now to low. I swallowed a bug. I need to show you the terrain that I'm stepping on. It's like walking on hot coals. I've just switched image stabilization back to high. I'm walking straight back for the jungle. Let me know in the comments below if you guys can notice the difference just by clicking image stabilization on low to high. This is what I'm bloody walking on, a whole heap of rocks, which really hurt my feet. That was the bug. Tip number 2 is to just adjust your camera profile. Now there's a whole heap of preset profiles on this Canon, which you can flick through, and often we don't choose to set our color profile. I'm gonna be setting the profile to neutral and then adding a color grade. But if you don't wanna do that, you can just choose a profile that you like. It's gonna enhance your image straight away. Okay, let's hit the Q button up the top here. Go over to profiles. So picture style right now, I've chosen the N, which is neutral. All right, I'm gonna click standard and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Let's roll. This is a standard color profile. ND filter is off. You're now seeing the same shot in portrait. Keep in mind that the sun just came out as well. So the camera is obviously gonna adjust for that. All right, welcome to the neutral color profile and welcome to the neutral color profile with a color grade. So this is essentially my preference of shooting on this camera. I'd recommend shooting in neutral and then adding your own color grade. To see how I color grade it, just keep watching. Color grading can be as simple or as detailed as you like it to be. I'm just gonna show you, this is a clip that is in the neutral color profile and this is the color grade. So it's as simple as over here, if you're in Premiere Pro, I'm not showing you in any other program because I edit in Premiere, and I'm sorry if you don't use Premiere, but if you can't see the Lumetri color, then just make sure that the Lumetri color workspace is open. I literally just go through my contrast, my shadows, and my whites, and I play around with the image. So I like to increase those, the contrast. I like to pull down the shadows a bit. Immediately I can see the image start to pop a little bit more. I'll pull the whites up just a fraction. That's a bit too much, probably around a 15, and pull the blacks down a bit just to add some more contrast to it. And that's color grading for me, just with this camera. Just make it pop a little more. Tip number 3 is another simple camera setting. It's about white balance, taking it off auto and actually selecting it for the scene. In video mode, just hit the Q, and then here where the sun is, we can choose our white balance. Now, more often than not, most of you guys will be shooting on auto. It's just gone cloudy, so let's hit the cloud icon. Take a look at that left image. Now we've set the white balance on the left to cloudy, on the right it's just on auto. It is a cloudy scene. You can see in the background that it's cloudy. Now by setting the white balance like this, it's obviously going to give you a better image. If you're color grading, it won't really matter. So for those of you that just want to skip the color grading, set your white balance. 24, 24, 24. All right, so the difference between shooting in 24 frames a second or 60 frames a second is literally personal preference. So I've just changed to 60 frames a second, and you're probably not gonna notice any difference because this video, other than like the daylight, which is constantly changing around me, but this video is exported and uploaded in 24 frames a second. So regardless of whether I've selected 60 frames a second on my Canon G7X Mark II. The export is what it's essentially gonna be at, what you're watching it at. Now, why do I choose to shoot in 60 frames? Simple question that you could ask yourself is, how big is your memory card? You know, if you're really tight on memory or on storage, then choose 24. And if you're not shooting any action or motion, then choose 24. But if you are shooting any action or motion, which I kind of just default my camera setup to is 60, because I'm a terrible filmer. So if I'm shooting any sequences or motion and I have the 60 frames, that gives me as an editor more opportunity to capture something decent in that small amount of time. Now, I'm a run and gun filmmaker, so if I'm shooting any B-roll, I like to put it into 60 just to give me that opportunity to slow the footage down and a better opportunity to capture some decent shots. You know, if I was shooting in 24 and I had a stabilizer, that would be great, but I generally don't have a stabilizer for this point and shoot. The question with NTSC and PAL obviously depends on lighting, depending on what country you're in. If you're in Australia, then, and you do have indoor lighting, then you should switch to PAL because it's not gonna pulse or you're not gonna get weird vibrations in your camera. If you're in the States and you're on PAL, then switch to NTSC. Anyway, that's the difference. PAL is only gonna let you shoot in 50 frames or 25 frames. NTSC is gonna let you shoot in 24 and 60.
One thing I highly recommend for vloggers who are shooting outside is to make sure you turn on this ND filter. So it's a very simple tip, but with that on, it's gonna neutralize or create some neutral density in the shot whilst you're filming yourself.
Right now the ND is on, full sun, outside, and bang! Gonna get some better vlog content. Right, next tip. The next two tips are in reference to audio. So let's go back inside and I'll show you how to set that up. If you guys are all cool with audio and lighting, then I'm gonna link a video up here which is taking you through some of my editing process as both a filmmaker and also just as a vlogger. So if you wanna learn about the editing side of things, you're cool with the filming side of things, then yeah, jump up there, click the card and check out that video. I'll also link it in the description if, I don't know, if the card's not working. So you've got two options. You can either upgrade your audio by using one of these, just a memory mic. I'll put a link to the product in the description of this video so you can just jump on and grab it. The second option, for those of you that solely use this camera as a vlogging camera and are looking to just slightly improve the audio on like out field trips and stuff, is this. Terrible cut, but it's just some fur to stick on the top of your camera. All right, I'm hoping this gives you an idea of what the audio sounds like. I'm skating up the driveway. Hopefully you can sort of hear the audio. I'm gonna flick between the camera audio now while I'm moving on the skateboard and the memory mic audio. So now you can kind of hear the difference if you are outside and you're looking for just like those, you know, those slight improvements in your vlog. The microphone on the G7X is at the top here. So basically all I want to do is avoid putting the sticker over the flash so that can still be accessed and just cover this area here. It is really important when you do this to make sure that you don't actually stick the sticker part of the sticker over the microphone. Otherwise, this is what's gonna happen.
I think you guys might use this camera to obviously set up a space and do sit down kind of video.
And when you get it right, it should just sound like this. But when you're out on the field, it's gonna give you that extra little help if it's super windy, like.
I recommend cutting the stickers in half and the piece of fur and only putting on half at the very top. You do not want to cover up the actual microphone input. It's literally just a bit of wind protection.
I'm sure there's a fair few of you that like to just use your Canon G7X for sit down, informative, vloggy style content. Locked off shots just like this, and you want to improve the aesthetic of the shot. So the next two tips are going to be specifically talking about lighting. Now right now, I can just pick up my camera, it's just on a small tripod, and show you that in front of me, there's a window, and I'm just placing the camera here, and I am talking to the camera. Let's have a look at how we can change a normal room scenario into a really cool sort of studio lit scenario. The way that we're gonna do this is with three sources of light. We're gonna have a source light, a backlight, and a fill light. Okay guys, so here's how I've set the shot up. I've got the source, I've got the fill, and the backlight. So there we go. I think I've improved the shot. All I've done is I've added a source light here. I've switched the white balance to white fluorescent because this is a white fluorescent light. Let's add a color grade. There we go, we've added a color grade. We have our backlight, which is just in there, the lamps and the globe, and there's some fill coming in from the side. It's just like a window open. If you don't have a window there that you can use as fill if you're shooting in the day or if you're shooting at night, then I recommend getting a second light and just lighting up the background so you get a nice kind of aesthetic. This way, the shot feels a lot more moody, it feels a lot more intimate, and we're really just playing around with a cheap light that I got off the internet. If you want any of this equipment, like the lamps, I got that lamp for like, I mean, that's my mom's lamp. The lamp I got for 15 bucks from Kmart. This one I think was like, maybe it's a $90 or $100 ring light. It's not that expensive to just improve your shot. Again, you can improve the audio by adding the lapel. I'm literally just using the camera audio to give you an idea of what this camera is capable of doing. Guys, if you have liked this video, do punch that thumbs up button and subscribe if you've learned anything from this video or you want to check out some more editing tutorials. Click the card up here and I'll teach you how I go through and I edit my content in Adobe Premiere. If you're a, you know, I'm a, I don't know, Final Cut user, it's not gonna help you, but you know, I really do think Premiere is the best editing suite. Anyway guys, I'll see you guys in the next upload. If you're new around here, turn on subscribe and turn on post notifications and we can hang out then. Ciao. Peace.
And letting go or
Guys, go on.
and letting go or
I mean, it's
1, 2, doesn't matter and letting go or
guys, go on.
and letting go or
I mean, it's
1, 2, you had a person